Alrighty, g'day everybody, it's the Doga! It's finally time for the next video. This video was supposed to have been done on Australia Day last Thursday, but unfortunately the weather got way too hot. But either way, it's finally being done today. Cold Chisel, Australian band of course, is my collection of cassettes from their back catalogue now. If you're a regular viewer to the channel, you may have seen a good chunk of these beforehand, but a few of these have not been shown off. So let's start from the very beginning. From 1978, this is of course their debut self-titled album. This one was on the Atlantic label, as you can see here. And Cassette itself is here. WEA on the opposite side as well. Got a few reissues here and there as well of each album, just about. This one's a slightly later copy of the first album with just the WEA logo on the spine there. Different coloured cassette shell. I think this one might be from the early 80s, or maybe a little later. This video is mostly for the Australian audiences. Those watching internationally, be sure to check out Cold Chisel. You can find their content on YouTube. This is their second album from 1979, of course, Breakfast at Sweethearts, featuring the 5 members of the classic lineup there. I think this is another original release. Okay, perhaps the best known albums, of course, from 1980, it's East. This is one here. It contains the majority of their hit singles and songs, of course. This here, I think, is not in the best shape, but it still works. It's the first Cold Chisel cassette I actually bought myself. Yeah, 6 or 7 years ago. I don't remember when exactly I bought it now. Once it gets stuck, there we go. And a slightly later reissue of the East album now. Again, different cassette shell. Still using paper labels at this point. And another later reissue from probably 1985 or so. Printed text directly on the shell itself. Excellent. Now I'll put that one aside. On to the next one, Cold Chisel's first live album from 1981, which is of course Swing Shift, double play cassette. Side 1 has all of the first LP and side 2 has all of the second LP. So side 1 here. And of course side 2. And of course a slightly later reissue, once again with the printed labels instead of the paper labels. Now, my favourite Cold Chisel album from 1982, Circus Animals. In my opinion, this was their best album. I haven't been able to beat it since. The cover, unfortunately, isn't in the best of shape, but the tape itself is in good shape though. Another album containing some of their all-time best songs. And also another reissue copy again, this time again with the printed label. Alright. And their final album from the 1980s, before they went on one of many hiatuses, is of course 20th Century from 1983, 1984 or so. I only got the one copy of this on cassette, and that's this one. I'm guessing this is an original copy. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it is. And of course, their second live album from 1984 as well. The infamous Barking Spiders Live compilation live album, whatever you want to call it. Alright, their first Australian compilation album was of course released the following year in 1985. Radio Songs. That's this one. This I think is the original cassette, which unfortunately most of the text is worn off and the label's a bit ripped unfortunately, but otherwise it's still here. And of course another copy, again with the printed labels. This one might be from a bit later, maybe 86, 87 or so, not 100% sure. And their second compilation album from the Australian market, 1987-88's Razor Songs, features some of the material that radio wouldn't play. And of course the 1991 compilation album, which was simply titled Chisel, also known occasionally as the Gold album. But it's usually just Chisel. This is the original release, I believe. Now I am missing a cassette from my collection from 1994. I'm missing the Teenage Love compilation album, the outtakes and unreleased material. But I do have three more. We have the Last Stand soundtrack. This is the original 1990s cassette. This has been reissued a few times, but otherwise this is the only cassette release of the album, I believe, of the soundtrack. Excuse me. There we go, that's that one. And of course, their first reunion album from 1998, The Last Wave of Summer. Took a while to find this particular cassette, but I eventually did. And of course, this one has the infamous hidden track, which was later added to the proper release of the album, Once Around the Sun, which is on the end of the album. But of course, it wasn't included in the original track listing. And last but not least is the 2019 album Blood Moon, which means their other album from 2011, No Plans, is the only studio album not to have been released on cassette, as well as The Perfect Crime from 2015. Which is a shame, though. But that's it. That's all of the Cold Chisel cassettes that I own. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to leave a like and, of course, comment down below. And if you're brand new to the Be a Good Dog YouTube channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Until next time, this is the Doga saying have a brilliant day, everybody, and I shall see you again.